Happy December all. This video will be about the flipped December meeting, and I wanted to talk to you about several items in this video, and this video has time sensitive information, so hopefully you're watching this early before the meeting because there's several things that you need to know about during the first week in December. First thing, here are the topics that we're going to cover. We're going to cover inventory, t-shirts and payment deadline, e-colors and a little bit about the December meeting, HPL Learning Link, meeting norms, and there's a change in the norm for the December meeting, Destiny and February training, as well as Destiny spring work opportunities, summer and spring professional development, the Kindle update, Teen Book Con, Follett free processing, and then a little brief bit about leadership and some articles that I've come across that I think might be helpful during this spirit and this time of stress, as well as testing, as well as fun and frivolity. All right, first item is inventory. We were given a small bit of misinformation as well as information to come that deals with inventory. So what that means is either start your inventory after our upgrade to Destiny 16.5, which will start sometime this month, and I don't know when in December, but it will be later in December that we upgrade to 16.5, or do an inventory of the complete fiction or your complete everybody section. Because we cannot do a partial inventory of the A through the M or the N through the Z part of your sections until the upgrade to 16.5 happens. So when our trainer told us we could do that, she was thinking about what happens when we move to Destiny 16.5. So that hasn't happened yet because 16.5 hasn't rolled out yet. Once 16.5 rolls out, then you'll be able to do that partial inventory. And I've sent an email to those 7 or 8 campuses that have already started out their inventory with how they can proceed with that inventory process. Now, as to what's coming in Destiny 16.5, here is the link right here that you can look at in the Follett community, and it lets you know what is coming in Destiny 16.5. Some of the things that are coming in 16.5, genreification improvements. It allows for searching by sublocations. It allows you doing an inventory by that sublocation like we just talked about. Ebooks are only visible at the site that owns them. It adds cover images to current checkouts and finds email notices. It adds a currency converter to the district. It's going to work on Destiny Discover and Classroom collections. And it's easily to return Destiny Classic from Destiny Discover and Collections. So there's going to be a button that helps us go back and forth instead of us automatically getting logged out when we go to Destiny Discover. When we go to Destiny Discover, we get logged out of Destiny Classic. So that's what's coming in 16.5, and I'll let you know when that rolls out. I've been given multiple different dates in December, so they're not quite sure what date they'll be rolling out 16.5, but they do know it's rolling out this month during December. I have a conference call next week to find out more information. Once I find that out, I will let you know. T-shirt payment and timeline. First, let me show you what the t-shirts look like. Here's what the t-shirts look like. You can zoom in and you can find out exactly what those little squares say down here. And Julie worked very hard on this, and it looks awesome. So we're very thankful to Julie for this. There's a sign-up sheet that is linked both in Schoology and in several different emails if you want to get in on this. It's an awesome opportunity for a t-shirt for us to have that promotes Alief Libraries. So here are the details. This is also in the SMORE. Money can be brought to Julie at Alief Middle School. Money can be sent to Julie via PayPal. And here's the PayPal address for Julie. Money can be brought to the December meeting, given to me on the 12th or Julie on the 13th. Long sleeve shirts are available. They cost an additional $3.50 added to the price of whatever size shirt you had. So if you had a small, medium, and large, add that extra large, add that to your price. If you had an XXL or an XXXL, add that to your price. Money is due by noon on December 13th. If Julie doesn't have your money by noon on the 13th, your order will not be submitted, and shirts will be delivered to Julie by December 19th. So there is a nice quick turnaround on these shirts, but you need to get your money to Julie by noon on December 13th. Make sure you're noting on that spreadsheet what sizes you're getting, and make sure you bring your money or send it via PayPal to Julie or give it to Julie at AMS. A little bit about the December meeting. You need to fill out your eColors inventory because we are having eColors training at the December meeting. You need to fill out a Google Doc, which I'll show you in just a minute. There will be breakfast, eColors training, then lunch, which will be provided for you. Then Houston Public Library is coming to train us, and I'll talk about more about that in just a minute. Then there'll be fun and prizes. You do need to bring a charged device to the meeting for multiple purposes, but mostly because of the HPL training. So make sure you're bringing that charged device to the meeting. Now, let me talk about what I mean by the eColors inventory. This is something that I've talked about and has been in s'mores for a couple of weeks, and I've sent an email about it. This is the personality indicator. It takes about 15 minutes to complete. The link for it will be in this month's s'more, as it's been in past month's s'mores. You may have filled it out already. If you haven't, you need to fill it out by this Friday. So you need to get that done. Once you have filled that out, you need to go to the eColor survey, and the link for that is in this month's s'more. You need to fill this out, and you fill out this first part, and then the next part asks you what your colors are, and that will help us group you during the eColors training. So our consultants need this information. We need it back from you by this Friday. So that's what I mean about the time-sensitive information. And that is in the LIS s'more. Here's this first link for the eColors inventory, and here's the second link for the eColors survey. And you need to get that completed by this Friday. So back to our meeting document, PowerPoint. The next item is the HPL Learning Link. Finally, what we've been working on so long is the Houston Public Library Learning Link. Where we're at now is we will have trainers coming to our meeting in December from 2 to 3 p.m. on both Wednesday and Thursday of next week. They're coming out from Houston Public Library. They will be training us on how to roll out the Houston Public Library Learning Link program to our students. The principals are being notified in their principals newsletter this week, and what they're being notified is that they need to give all of our LISs some time at the January, sometime within the month of January, to train the staff on HPL Learning Link. And then we want the HPL Learning Link to be rolled out to the student body sometime within the first 9 weeks or the third 9 weeks of the new year. So sometime during the January, February, March timeline, Learning Link needs to be rolled out to your student body. It needs to be rolled out to the staff during the month of January. Training documents will come, and this is why you need to bring that charged device to the meeting. I want to show you what the Learning Link web page will look like, just a mock-up of it, and then what the Learning Link web page looks like for Houston Public Library and for Houston Public Library. So here's the mock-up of what the Learning Link web page will look like for high school students. It's going to have the Learning Link links that we have, and we're actually going to have some more than these, but these are just the basic ones that we'll have available for our students. And they will actually have access to this tech shared databases as well at home. We can't publicize that as much at school, but they can have access to them at home. It's going to have their login information up here at top in case they forget it, and then it'll have access to each of the databases. Here's the Learning Link, once again the Learning Link at home, high school. And then this is what the Learning Link high school webpage looks like for when they're at home. It has a fuller listing of all the web pages and databases that they can have access to. And I've asked for some of these also to show up on our pages. There will be a customized webpage for the intermediates, or for the middle schools, as well as for the elementaries. And our intermediates are falling in with our elementaries. So it's going to be wonderful that we're going to have training for this during our December meetings. And they'll also be talking about the library cards that each of our students and staff members will have access to. And then we're also going to be getting publicity information for that in January, and they'll be talking more about that with us during our December meeting. Meeting norms. There is one difference in the meeting norm. You do need to bring a wireless device to every meeting. Third time I talked about it, means it's really important. You need to watch the pre-meeting video prior to every meeting. And here's the change. You won't really need your meeting binder for the December meeting. You can leave that at your campus. Just make sure you bring yourself something to write on and something to write with, and that wireless charged device. You will be needing that at the December meeting. A couple of items about training upcoming. We will be having a Destiny trainer coming to our district on February 22nd. For the AM portion of the day, it is for those people that were not involved in the October Destiny training. For the PM portion of the day, it's for those who attended the October portion of the training. It'll be a more advanced training about reports and some more topics. It will be at ASF. Everyone needs to plan on attending one of those trainings. So once again, in the morning, if you didn't come to the October Destiny training, you need to plan on coming on February 22nd in the morning. February 22nd in the PM, if you came in October to the previous Destiny training, you need to come again Destiny training February 22nd in the afternoon. Then we will have optional lab work days at the ASF, January 28th, March 2nd, and April 3rd. And those dates will be when the lab will be open. There'll be time for you to work in the lab. It'll just be an open lab all day for you to work as you need with a computer, a nice quiet space for you to get whatever done that you need to away from your campus. And I've tried not to schedule the same day of the week so you won't be missing the same classes or the same kind of meetings. So it'll just be a time when you can get away from campus that's not the same time of day or the same day of the week each time. Along that same theme is professional development. I've started working on summer and spring dates and sessions. I should have the spring finalized before we go for Christmas break, and I should have the summer finalized before spring break, if not earlier. And I'll let y'all know about that as soon as I get it finalized and into Eduphoria and everything nailed down. I'm working on that. Should have it finalized shortly. Teen BookCon is the next item I want to talk about. This is the 10th anniversary year of Teen BookCon. They are working on an amazingly stellar lineup. I have heard through the grapevine a few of the names. I am pushing them hard to release those names as soon as possible. They are trying to hold off until they get all the names confirmed. But the names I have heard are amazing. The date for the Teen BookCon is March 30th, 2018. It's going to be at Clear Springs High School. If you would, begin finding out if your kids are interested. The authors' names will be announced soon, and it's kind of the names that even if you don't have teens attending, you as a person may want to attend to see some of these authors. It's those kind of wonderful names. The Teen BookCon website hasn't been updated with the names because they're not announced yet, but this is where they will be listed when they are announced. And as soon as I get allowance to start naming some of those names to you, I will, because some of them are really, really amazing. And once again, this is the 10th anniversary, so they're really trying to blow out all the strings on this and really be a great, great, wonderful Teen BookCon. Kindle update. I know some of the middle schools and high schools and intermediates and a few of the elementaries are really wanting to know what to do with these Kindles that aren't working anymore. I have met with the SLE department and we've finalized some directions for the Kindles. I've finalized the deregistering process, and we've gotten a way that we can move our Kindle cloud, our Kindle content into the cloud, so you can pull up the contents on all of your iPads. So you will not have to have this device over here that is old and not working, but you still can have your Kindle content be utilized by your students. The SLE department says the content and the iPads can be used by any of your students. So you won't have to say, honey, are you an ESL student? Are you an SLE student? If you're not, you can't read that book on that iPad. No, it can be utilized by anybody. So what you can do is work with your SLE department on your campus and see how they want to utilize the iPad and ESL Kindles on your campuses. Both of the documents telling you how to deregister your devices and how to move the content to the iPads are in the Schoology and in the December meeting folder. So let me show you what it looks like. In the Kindle, in the monthly meeting folder, there's 3 articles, which we'll talk about in a few minutes, and then there's the Kindle removal process. When I click on the Kindle removal process, there's a flow chart that you'll work through. Then there's the deregister process, last 1 page, and then there's the utilizing Kindle content on iPads. Simple process for you to work through. And then you can remove those Kindles from your campus if you don't want to have them on your campus anymore. Next item, and this is a nice item for us. If you utilize Tidal Wave for any of your books, and anytime you utilize Tidal Wave for your books, for the next calendar year, the following items are free when ordering from Follett and Tidal Wave. You'll get free MARC records, free barcode labels, free Mylar covers, free spine labels, and 1 free genre label per item. And that's coming from Gordon, and he hopes to have these items free continuing after November of next year, but that's not official yet from the company because they only do this 1 year at a time. Also, if you're working on an order over $10,000 or more, contact Gordon prior to placing the order and he'll be able to work on discount pricing for you. But if you place the order through Tidal Wave and then contact him afterwards to get that discount pricing, it doesn't usually work because the order is already placed in Tidal Wave and the pricing is already done. So you need to, run your list in Tidal Wave, know that it's over $10,000, contact him, but don't place that order yet. Now, for leadership and articles, I've come across a few very interesting articles in the last few weeks that I wanted to share with you, and we're not going to have time at the December meeting or the forum to discuss them. So my last couple of minutes, I wanted to talk about some of these articles for you to read and go over in your own leisure time. The articles are in the LIS monthly meeting folder in the December meeting folder. The first article is about ways to earn the respect of those you lead, and it just talks about some ways for you as a leader to earn the respect on your campus. And one of the ones that I've been called to very much for is having a servant leadership attitude. Never ask someone to do something that you're not willing to do yourself. Always are passionate about what you're doing. Be open to the change that you're doing, and be open to input and take other people's suggestions. Have a flexible mindset. Always take responsibility. Always say that you are the one that made that decision, and so the buck stops with you. Like Ashley always says, she'll take the heat for whatever's going on. Respect is earned from your people who you're with, from your paras, from the other people on your leadership team. They're not just going to give you respect. You have to earn it from them. So that was a very interesting article about leadership and respect. You have to earn it. They're not just going to give it to you. This next article was called 7 Toxic Bosses You Should Avoid Like the Plague, which is an interesting title. I retitled the article to Strategies for Dealing with Stressful Leaders, because the article really has some good guidelines for dealing with different types of leaders. And here's what I mean by that. Here's a type of leader that you may encounter in your day-to-day walk. And then here is how to deal with that kind of a leader. So if you have a leader who's constantly overriding you and making decisions for you, here are strategies for having to deal with that leader. So these are tools that you can use in your toolbox to help you at your campuses deal with those difficult personalities that we're always having to deal with. It may not be your principal. It might be another teacher on your campus who is an incompetent person, who is being an inappropriate buddy with you, who is being a seagull with you. How do you work with that kind of a personality to make them be an effective co-teacher with you or a co-leader with you? How do you take their weaknesses and make them strengths? So that's why I found this article to be a very important article for us as leaders, because we can't just throw up our hands and say, this person is horrible, I can't work with them. How do we co-opt their weaknesses and turn them into strengths? And that's what I got the most from this article. So if you have somebody who is a visionary and doesn't do a lot in your mind, how do you take that not doing a lot and reverse it so that really becomes a strength instead of a detriment? So that was a very interesting article to look at, not from a toxic boss you should avoid, but from a leader on your campus that you're going to turn that, what you consider a weakness, into a working point and into a strength for you. Now the last problem, or the last article, is what do great problem solvers do differently. This was one that is close to my heart because when I face a problem, it's easy to say, to throw up my hands and say, I'm not going to deal with it. I'm going to leave it alone. I'm going to walk away. I'm going to let somebody else deal with it. On Friday afternoon, when the information came back about the inventory, I was so upset. I wanted to walk away and not deal with it. And I did that for a few minutes. I actually did physically go away from my computer, go for a walk, and let my brain problem solve it in the background. And it was okay for me to do that. But then I needed to come back and figure out a solution. So you can't just walk away and not do anything and let somebody else figure it out for you. You have to find a solution even if you're at your most frustrated. So great problem solvers have technical expertise and understanding. They have a depth of knowledge. They have people they can pull from. And one of the things I did on Friday is I went to Brian and Ashley and I said, here's my problem. Try to help me problem solve it, because right now I'm really mad about it and I can't think anything past the mad. And they were able to help start giving me some solutions that then I was able to think, okay, that's a good solution. Okay, that's a good solution. And then I was able to get out of my anger and my mad and into my finding a solution area. Problem solvers are able to innovate, challenge, change, and push boundaries. You're able to see past the no to a yes. They're able to look for broad focuses, broad strategic focuses, and not a narrow focus. They have a drive and a push to get things done. And they have interpersonal skills. They understand what makes other people tick, and they have productive ways to change them and to get them to move forward. You're not just sitting there letting life happen to you. You are an actor in life that is moving life forward to make a problem become a solution instead of a life is happening to me and I am a victim in life. No, I am changing life. I'm moving life forward. There's a problem. I'm going to make it a solution and I'm going to move it forward. I think we're all really good at this, and that's what we have to be in our jobs. But these are just some more tools for your toolbox to help you become a better leader as you go throughout your days and on your campuses. And I just wanted to close in my last few seconds to talk about, this is a December meeting. You do need to fill out your eColors inventory. You do need to fill out your Google Doc. Come for breakfast, lunch, eColors, Houston Public Library, fun, and prizes. And make sure to bring a wireless device. Have a great few weeks, and we'll see you next week for the December meeting.